Hey guys, JamesMCD's Reviews here. Welcome to another cinematic bucket list. In case you guys don't know, this week we're getting a brand new entry in Legendary's Monsterverse with Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. We got the trailer shortly after Godzilla Minus One came out, and it's still hilarious. Just the sharp juxtaposition between like the grounded, serious, like, you know, stuff that happens in Minus One versus that shot at the end of the trailer of the two of them running at full speed. But I figured, because I'm not fully caught up on the Monsterverse, because I'm not exactly the biggest fan, sorry for those of you who are, like, I can see the appeal, it's just not for me personally, but I figure maybe I'm not that into it because I haven't actually seen every single movie in the Monsterverse. So I decided to do a quick little bit of catch up as I take a look at Godzilla, released in 2014, directed by Gareth Edwards, and Kong Skull Island, released in 2017, directed by Jordan Roberts. So we'll start off with Godzilla. This stars Bryan Cranston for the first 40 minutes, and Aaron Taylor-Johnson for the rest of it. It's got to do with this guy who's a Navy vet who has to go to Japan to help out his estranged dad, and they get kind of caught in the middle of this monster battle as these like giant insect creatures come out of the ground and do battle with Godzilla, who has also just kind of come out of nowhere, and they basically, you know, are leveling the city, and basically the humans just have to try and survive, essentially. Not gonna lie, this one was kind of boring. I'm gonna be straight up honest. I was pretty checked out for most of this. I don't necessarily think it's bad. Like, I don't think it's got the same amount of like cheese and camp that something like King of Monsters and Godzilla vs. Kong has, but it also doesn't really have anything, you know, keeping me invested. Like, even sort of the human element that they like spend so much time focusing on, like, I mean, I will say this, I was surprised, like, you know, how little screen time Bryan Cranston was in this. Like, they make it seem like he's gonna be in it for the long haul, but he ends up getting killed off halfway through, and then it's just Aaron Taylor-Johnson and the military fighting off these things for the rest of the movie. But, like, their whole story arc just wasn't really that interesting. Nothing was really keeping me invested on that end. Like, the relationship between Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen, and like the like back and forth of like, oh, the family at home and everything like that. Even the family dynamic between Cranston and Johnson, like, and sort of the tension between them because of like how messed up he's been because his wife died and everything like that. Like, none of that was really like interesting to me. And you think at the very least, okay, well, yeah, nothing in the story or the characters are really that interesting, but that's not really why you're going to a movie like this. You're going to see the monster action, and I mean, there's a few cool things here and there. The monster action in this kind of sucks. Like, it's very dark, it's very grainy, like, there isn't really much to look at. Like, even the creatures themselves are very black and gray and just not really that interesting. It's just a lot of kind of like CGI noise, like, just plastered on the screen. Say what you will about King of Monsters and Versus, but like, they had some cool action and you could at least like see everything. They started to acknowledge like pretty quickly that that's the reason why people are going to these movies. And I mean, I guess if this is the starting point, like, it's fine, but it's like, they definitely knew where their priorities lie as the movies went on. Another thing, like, speaking on the whole Bryan Cranston thing not being in the movie enough, another person or thing that is pretty missing from a good chunk of this movie is Godzilla himself. Like, he doesn't show up for at least halfway through the movie, if not longer. Like, yeah, the creatures, like the insect creatures, show up and that's what gets sort of the plot moving, but it's a good long while before you even get a full shot of Godzilla, which I imagine that's gonna piss a lot of people off. Because if you're not getting good characters and, you know, you're having them wait super long to see what they came here for, then yeah, you're not really giving them much to chew on. Like I said, this isn't a bad movie. I mean, the worst I can say about it is it's just kind of boring and generic, but I feel like for a monster movie, you never want to be saying that. You never want to say, oh, well, it was just boring, and I didn't really get anything out of it. As it stands, I think the highest I can give it is a 3 out of 5. Next up is Kong Skull Island, which by all accounts is the exact opposite of Godzilla 2014. This was a pretty damn fun movie. Basically, it's about these explorers who are going on a mission to this island to rescue a lost soldier, or a group of lost soldiers, and they make their way through the island and have to encounter all of the crazy, like, big monsters and creatures, one of them being the king of apes himself, King Kong. This one, I feel like they took all of the criticisms from Godzilla 2014 and just did the exact opposite. Like, because this one, it's a lot of fun. Everything that you had to complain about Godzilla, they basically rectify pretty seamlessly. Like, for one, the action in this is a lot cooler and a lot more fun. You can see a lot of it. Visually, by the way, the film looks gorgeous. Like, they actually add in a lot of color. And, you know, they sunblast out a lot of shots, and there's a lot of really great, like set pieces, a lot of cool use of color, a lot of greens and blues and yellows and everything like that. Like, I'm glad this one took place, like, on an island rather than a dark, dimly lit city, because it, you know, it's not something that we see often from monster movies. Is like, we don't see the monster in their natural habitat. Usually they end up coming to us, whereas in this time, we're coming to them. And you get to see a lot of cool creature designs. The action is really well shot, and the visual effects look great. The one thing I can say positively about both this and Godzilla 2014 is they do a good job of representing, like, the size and scale of these things. Like, they make these things, the way that they're shot, they make them look huge. I also actually really liked the story. I think the way that they are portraying the monsters in the Monsterverse, having them be protectors, I feel like that whole thing kind of works better for Kong, because I feel like Kong has always been kind of a sweetheart, and, like, he will only attack people when he's provoked. And of course, these motherfuckers come into his house and are, you know, dropping bombs and shooting at people and everything like that, and of course that's gonna piss him off. But by the end of it, like, seeing him become the hero and protect everyone makes sense. But speaking of the people, the characters in this were actually interesting, and I liked watching them. Like, obviously they're definitely, you know, action movie archetypes, but, like, I thought that they were all charming and likable. I thought the actors portraying them all did really great. Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of Marvel people, now that I'm thinking about it. But, like, John C. Reilly as well, John Goodman, like, these are all really solid actors in this, and they all have pretty great chemistry. They take the mission seriously, but they're also, like, joking around with each other, and they're just fun to watch. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you can put human characters in a monster movie and make them the focal point, but you have to enjoy watching them. Like, you have to not be watching them and constantly waiting for them to die. Like, that's how you know you've made a good monster movie. That's what Godzilla Minus One did, and that's what this does. The movie overall is just a really fun time. Like, it doesn't really try to take itself super seriously. There are a lot of fun needle drops in the soundtrack. There's some great shots, some really great cinematography and visual effects. And yeah, overall, just the sharp contrast between Godzilla 2014 and this is just staggering. And yeah, I don't know, like, if this is a hot take or not. I'm sure Monsterverse fans will agree with me though, but I feel like of the 4 Monsterverse movies, this is probably the best. And yeah, I'd give this a 4 out of 5. But anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know in the comments what you think of these 2 movies. Which do you like more, Godzilla or Kong? And are you excited for the new one, the new Empire, coming out this weekend? Let me know that stuff down below. And, you know, I just realized, like, in prepping for this video that I never actually did a proper review for Godzilla vs. Kong. I did one for all the other ones, but I haven't done that one. So if you'd like to see me cover that one for the bucket list, maybe I'll do, like, a double feature of that and, like, the original. So let me know if that's something that you'd like to see. I've got more videos coming soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on when I'm posting. Follow me on all my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.